The people are talking about Panama, but they're not really talking about Panama, bro. Like, Google Panama City, Panama skyline.
That's why I was so excited to have this conversation. I'm like, I've heard Belize come up, I've heard Vietnam, I've heard all these different places, but Panama to me just instantly stuck out.
It looks like Miami. I mean, you hear like Dubai of Central America or Singapore of Central America, and when you see the skyline, you'll see why. Top story is a rooftop pool.
I already knew it. I knew the pool was
Probably
coming.
like 3,000 square feet. Crazy view. Might have been on like the 40th floor. Bought it for less than I bought my house. And that just changed everything. Why bet against yourself? Like, it's you, bro. It's you. It's you. Why do you think that you wouldn't be successful already? Like, you didn't even try it. You didn't even go out here to like to figure it out. And do you already think that it's gonna fail? Like, that's with anything in life, right? Moving, starting a new business, getting into a hobby, socializing, just do it.
All right, guys, what's going on? We are back with another Bulls report. And listen, a lot of people, especially in today's climate, have a dream of escaping. Do I want to say fleeing, relocating to another country, whatever terminology you want to use. And I grabbed one of my close friends who actually has done it. We got the one, the only Jason Bass in the building. What's going on, brother?
Things are good, man. Thank you for having me.
Thank you for being here, man. I want to dive right into this because you just finished an exciting move. And I feel like you just moved in my mind, but that, when the pandemic happened, it's kind of a canon event. So I remember you moving to Atlanta and being excited about that journey and seeing the growth and the progression there. And now you've relocated again. So before we get into all of that, man, for those that don't know you, can you give a TLDR of who Jason Bass is? And then we'll jump in from there.
Yeah. Just like a quick rundown. I've pretty much worked in, 4 or 5 different industries from, banking to tech to where I am now in hospitality. And for the last few years, and this is this is what started my journey on kind of like moving to Atlanta and being where I am now. I really planted some roots in hospitality. So I worked with a few lifestyle luxury brands in the hotel space, doing strategic event planning, which they summarize into programming. And it's a great transition for people who maybe promoted clubs or lounges back in the day or have community building skills, and they can, convert them into something more polished. So when I was working at a hotel in Baltimore, they ended up moving me to Atlanta to work with the Thompson brand in Buckhead for about 3 years. They ended up selling that hotel, and that freed me to figure out where I wanted to go professionally and personally. So once my lease was up, I decided to check out Panama.
All right. And you just said the country, so everybody knows what we're talking about. So yes, you have relocated to Panama. And great story, by the way. I knew elements of it, but I didn't know exactly like how that shook out. So you were crushing it here. And by the way, in Baltimore, like if you're from Baltimore, I know I have a lot of intersectionality of folks in the DMV, Baltimore, this kind of region. They probably know who you are. Like, if you've ever been to cool. a Jason Bass event, you know it. So you took those skills. Basically, it sounded like you were promoted and then you moved down. Or just like an opportunity to pursue a new, I guess, a more challenging career to relocate.
Yeah. I mean, the brand was different too. Like the brand that I was working with in Baltimore, it was Joy de Vivre, and it was at a hotel called Revival, which is considered a boutique lifestyle hotel, not quite luxury. So the experience that I got to have when things transitioned over to the Atlanta hotel, it was with the Thompson brand, which was considered more luxury with a little bit of lifestyle on it. And that allowed me to not only work at that property, but to also split time at the Dallas location. And then I helped out with Denver location, and just, wherever the brand saw that there might be an opportunity to figure out how to get more people into the hotel. based off of events and experiences and things like that.
I want to do a whole other episode talking about some of the stuff that because you like you ever meet some people where you're just like, man, I wish you could just like download your brain onto like a USB so that I could like get it. Like you have such a breadth of skills, particularly in the community building space and your ability to curate bespoke events and all the things. Like I thought when I saw the announcement from you, I thought you were running for Congress, and he's like, nope, I'm leaving. I'm like, that's fair too. That's fair too. I'm not even mad. I
Was
can
it
see
opposed to leaving Baltimore or leaving Atlanta? Because I feel like,
leaving the country, leaving Atlanta.
oh
Yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Baltimore, it just kind of because I think once you have demonstrated a skill set, like have you
Yeah.
ever heard of Thrive Cities?
No, put me down.
Yes, there's a creator. I believe her name is Felicia for the win. If it's not, like, I'll correct it in the comments. But I believe she
Oh,
hosts a
she's in Baltimore, right? Like she's a politician, is that right?
no, the person I'm thinking of, she's in New York
Oh,
and she
got you.
created this brand called Lectures on Tap. And so Lectures on
Mm,
Tap is essentially small event experiences where she invites out university professors to come present kind of TEDx top style talks at bars and restaurants in New York and kind
hmm
of like lower competition nights. So like a Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. She's pulling 150 people coming out listening to a college professor talk about, a random topic, and they're amazing. And so she talks about this concept though of Thrive Cities because she's not from New York. And the concept of Thrive Cities basically is rooted in the fact that everybody, based on your constitution, as well
hmm
as what phase of life you are in, will have a different city that was probably going to be better for you
hmm
emotionally, financially, opportunity, family, dating prospects, food,
hmm
you name it. Like, a person like me born with asthma, I may not make it and, Mumbai. You know what I mean? Like,
Right,
it
right.
depends. Or I might, I'm not no shade to Mumbai. Like, don't come at me, India. I'm just saying
You pulled
everybody
that
has a
one. You pulled that one out the at the air too. Let's go
literally.
Mumbai.
So I think everybody has a Thrive City. Do you
Yep.
think that has that been, and that's why I want to ask you next. So, when you were considering before we even get to the move out of the country, many
hmm
people struggle to leave the city or town that they were born in.
Yeah, 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 yeah.
And are
Yep.
you from Baltimore?
Yeah, yeah, born and raised, man. And Baltimore has this thing about it too that's similar to small towns where people may not even leave that neighborhood. Like generations are just, within existing within a few square blocks. And, they don't go across town or they may perceive tourist areas in their own city as not for them, as for other people. And that's the kind of place Baltimore is, and it's rich with its own culture and experiences. They're very unique to the city. The people are fantastic, but one of the things that I think makes Baltimore kind of difficult to navigate if you're not from there is that it kind of exists in its own bubble. Like people don't get out of that bubble for whatever reason, fear or just access to resources or knowledge or anything. There's a whole mix of things. But yeah, man, Baltimore is like I love it, but it has a grip. It'll have a grip on you, and it makes you not want to even try to leave the city sometimes. Like when I announced it, when I was calling my friends and I told them I'm moving to Atlanta, they had an emotional response as if like I was being freed from captivity. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And these are Baltimore people, right? So it's not like they wouldn't get the emotional impact of what that meant to leave. And especially to your point earlier, like I had already kind of established myself in the city, right? So
Big
why do
time.
all that work to do that, right? To establish yourself, make all those connections, build these communities, and then be like, yep, you know what? I'm out. I'm gonna go somewhere else and start over. And go to a place like Atlanta, which has its own unique brand, completely different culture, different different on every level. So yeah, it's a thing.
What was the biggest thing that surprised you about that move? Like when you were, because I mean, you've been to Atlanta, I'm sure, many times. Like you
Yeah.
have business relationships down there, but like, what was one thing about changing that or just moving to a new city that surprised you for good or bad? And
Hmm.
if you could go back and give your past self advice as you were preparing to do that, like, is there anything that pops up for you?
Yeah, man, like Atlanta is, I think it gets too much of a rep that's, or it's too defined by some groups of people on just like one or two experiences, right? Like I had no interest in going to Atlanta because the way it was talked about to me was it was about like the Hollywood and hype lifestyle, right? Like being on a reality TV show or getting into like the music industry or just meeting people from that industry and potentially having an opportunity to have your life changed by one of these two types of experiences. But when I got down there, honestly, I mean that exists. You can do that kind of stuff can happen, but it taught me how to really choose my own adventure on another level, right? Like
Nice.
it's one thing to separate yourself in your hometown to say, you know what, I'm not going to go in the same direction as everybody else on all of these things. I'm going to try to figure out who I am and carve out my own identity that's complementary to the community that you exist in. But it's another thing to go to a whole nother state. You didn't grow up in a whole nother environment, and then have to really figure out who you are even further so that you can then know the kind of stuff that you want to do and need to do to make yourself thrive, right? And
Hmm.
in whatever city it is. So going through that exercise and learning about Atlanta in a real way, being embraced by Atlanta, and all the things that you can do that are possible that it may not be promoted as well. That stuck with me moving down here to Panama, right?
Hmm.
Like, yeah, you can easily just kind of get into a groove that other people are sharing and talking about on social media. And, that could be a thing. That's cool. It'd be very comfortable. But we didn't choose to do that. And honestly, we did our best. We're doing our best and continue to try to do our best to really figure out who we are, what we want out of this experience at this point in our life. And I say us because I'm down here with my girlfriend and my daughter, right? So I have a family. It's not just me. I'm not just solo traveling, dipping in and out of places, staying at Airbnbs. Like, no, we had to go apartment shopping ASAP, right? We had to like nail something down and navigate the different parts of what that's like. Not I'm not fully, I don't even speak the language fully, right? So, I've gone to Spanish classes, throughout middle school and high school, but I didn't think I was really going to be using it. Now I'm looking back on that and I'm kicking myself. But you learn and you adapt. And I think that the biggest thing that you learn about is yourself, and who you really are.
Facts.
People talk mad trash, like about, oh, they hype themselves up and they're like, yo, put me anywhere, I'll be great. Or, yeah,
They
I'll
can
figure these
survive
things out. They
anywhere.
can survive anywhere. And they never test it. They never test it, right? So like, I got a chance to test myself in Atlanta. I think I did fairly well. Now let's test myself. Let's test me and my family's ability to thrive in another country.
I literally I don't even have enough time to ask you all these questions, but I'm going to do my best in the time that we have. So, Panama, I understand that you took a trip, you and your
Yeah.
family first, like on a vacation, and then that was kind of a tester to see how many times did you go? Like, was it like you just went first and you fell in love as soon as y'all got off the plane, or was it something that you had to date Panama for a little bit and then decide to, get into a long term
Yeah,
situation?
definitely. I definitely had a long distance relationship with Panama. I originally really found out about Panama and experienced it just about 12 years ago. And how that happened was a friend of mine in Baltimore had a birthday party, and he invited everybody around the country or his friend, not everybody. He invited his friends from around the country to join him in Panama. So like 15 of us like all meet here, and he had a relationship with a concierge that set everything up for us. So I mean, it was great. We had like VIP service from the airport. We hung out in a lounge while like our stuff went through customs.
Nice.
They had a big bus for us that took us to this boutique hotel that's no
Have
longer
I been
open
doing
here.
birthdays wrong?
I know. I thought to say, I mean, he set the bar crazy high. You know what I mean? He's that kind of guy anyway. And I blame him for this too. I blamed him on social media recently. But I'm gonna blame him further.
Nice.
But, but while I was here, we were just partying and having a good time. But, I was also learning about the country and what the lifestyle was like, the economy was like, the people, and the concierge lived here, and he bought a house down here, and he showed us like his place. So when he showed us his place, he bought it at the time, and again, this was like 12 years ago. He bought it for the same price that I bought my house for in Baltimore City, right? Which now keep in mind, it was in this transitional area over in West Baltimore and in the Highlands Market, Pigtown area. It was only 2 stories, newly kind of renovated, and I think I bought it for like 220,000 at the time, right?
Great
Okay,
price.
cool, right? And I just thought, we could talk about that another time, but I bought it for that price, and it's significant because when we went to his place, now my place was small. My place was probably maybe 1,200, 1,300 square feet, right? Not including the basement.
Hmm.
Now we go to his place, right? He has 3 stories. The top story is a rooftop pool.
I
It's
already knew it. I knew the pool was
probably
coming.
like
I already knew it.
it's probably like 3,000 square feet. Beautiful, crazy view. Might have been on like the 40th floor, and it was incredible. He bought it for less than I bought my house. And that just changed everything, right? Everything about all of that changed everything for me at the time. So I called my mother, and I was like, look, I was single at the time. So I was like, listen, you have the keys to all my stuff. I was like, sell my stuff. I'm not coming back anymore. You keep some money and then send me the rest. Of course, she laughed. She didn't do any of that. But but I stayed another week, and while I was down here, it gave me a chance to dive into the culture a little and the experience a little deeper. And I promised myself, I was like, I'm gonna move here. I'm gonna go back to I'm gonna get my MBA, and I'm gonna take the GMAT, get my MBA, learn Spanish. I'm gonna come back and work at one of these financial institutions. And I did a lot of that. I did. I took the GMAT. I got accepted at University of Baltimore. I almost finished with my MBA, but what happened is the company that I started, which ended up being Trees and Toting Company, got invested in by Under Armour. So I had to leave school early to run that company. I also ended up having a son at that time, so that derailed all those plans. So I kept that in mind. And last October, like you mentioned, I'd been talking about this to my current family. I'd been telling my mother about this, friends about this forever. I'm like, look, you just want to fly down, and if you want to check it out, and if you like it, then we should make plans to like live there. So we did that last October. My mother loved it, right? She had never left the country before,
I
never
was
been
going
out
to
of the country.
ask. I was going to ask. Yeah, because we got a
She,
lot of parents like that. They like,
fam, never left the country.
nice.
And it was beautiful to be able to do that with her. And then my girl hasn't she never left the country either. All of her plans got derailed because of the pandemic when we were originally going to move, when she was originally going to travel.
Sounds familiar.
So we ended up just coming down in October for about 10 days, loved it. And then and when our lease was up, we were like, yeah, we're out.
Wow, man. And so that is one of the things. Were you a person? And I'm glad you kind of told us of where those seeds were planted and how that
Yeah.
progressed. Prior to that, prior to walking around, seeing his property and kind of, I call it shopping for cities. Before that, what was your, like, on a scale of 1 to 10, what was your interest level? Like, let's take us back to maybe like 25-year-old Jason, like, or, 20 years old. Was that like part of your like vision? Do you see yourself living internationally, or was it kind of like a footnote?
No, I didn't. I didn't know much. I knew a little bit, but I don't think I got. I joke about this to a couple of my friends back home. I think I didn't really get on a plane until I was probably somewhere between 21 and 24, right? And the only reason I flew when I believed I think this was like a really pivotal moment, right? You have one of those moments that change your trajectory completely. It's like a ricochet kind of thing, right? I look back at this moment where I had a friend who had tickets to Miami over Memorial Day weekend when that used to be something fun, right? It
Used to
actually
be,
used to be cool, right? With
used to
Black
be,
Film
yes.
Festival and Alonzo the morning weekend and that kind of stuff was happening. He had tickets to go down and a hotel room. But all of that changed. So he was like, listen, you want to buy my stuff from me, and then you and whoever you want, you guys can go down and enjoy all of that. And I mean, I'll give it to you at a discount. I just can't go anymore. Me and my homies can't go. And I was like, you know what? Let's see what's up. So I called another friend of mine, who's David Kauser. You'd probably know him. And he was like, "No, let's go." He had never been to Miami, right? Neither of us have never been to Miami. But when we go down there, as you know, as a lot of people know now, it feels like you're in another country. It feels
100%.
the other people speaking all types of languages. It's super tropical. There's palm trees everywhere. It's very different than Baltimore City, right?
Very different.
So
Night and day.
completely different universes. So we fell in love, man. We even got pedicures and everything. We didn't even do that kind of stuff back then. We were like, we can't walk around the beach on sneakers. We need our toes looking right? So we could truly enjoy this experience. And that was an eye-opening moment. That changed everything as far as like traveling. So that allowed me to feel more comfortable to go to other places just as a visitor, just for like, just to see what it was, just put my eyes and hands on it. I never thought that I would move until much later in life, where I was trying to consider the benefits of what I thought I want to, of living somewhere else that would help me to get the lifestyle that I was looking for. So that became different as an adult.
Amazing experience. I same thing, man. Again, you and I are both from Baltimore.
Hmm.
My very first plane ride was out of the country to study abroad. I was in a program that had a study abroad component, Granville T. Woods College program. Shout out BCCC. And
Okay.
yeah, they put us on a plane at 18. And guess where they
Big.
sent us?
Where?
Seville, Spain, or Sevilla for those that are, over
Oh, that's
there.
fire. Wow. So you got
Spent
to go out to
us
Spain.
for a
Still
whole
haven't
summer.
been.
Listen, it's hot. But it's cool, an amazing experience. And, even the layover, we had a 6-hour layover in Heathrow.
Hmm.
So I've technically been to the UK, but not really. So like
Hmm.
went
Hmm.
over there and then it just, to your point, now I went to Baltimore City Public Schools, went to BCCC at the time. I had taken zero Spanish.
Hmm.
Mervo is a vocational technical school. They had Spanish, and they ain't push it. So
Right, right.
this was my first time having to learn a foreign language in a very immersive. And Spain isn't one of those countries that's kind of like, some countries in some areas are very tourist friendly. Seville isn't one of those. Like if you go over there trying to talk regular English, they're like, no, Espanol, por favor. Like you're not getting away
They're not
with
even
that.
friendly about it, right? It's just like, no,
They
you need to
might
know Spanish.
you need to learn. This is our language here. And
Yeah.
so it forced me to quickly kind of get on the ball. I learned numero seis por favor. That was a number 6 chicken McNugget meal on the weekends if I
Heard,
needed to,
heard, yeah.
but a roast
Listen,
con pollo,
necessity will make you do all types of things, man.
all sorts of stuff. I'm interested in the checklist. So how long have you been in Panama now? I know it's only been like a little bit.
It's almost been a month, believe it or not. We got down here on the 12th of May. Today is June 4th, so it's not too far off of that. We came down and I'm a planner, bro. Like I was a project manager for a while, as a part of we were talking about earlier. So
Mhm.
I truly believe in the power of spreadsheets, notes, checklists, all of that, right? And so I had an Apple Note that I was sharing with my girl and my family, so everybody knew what was going on. I kept every single detail for what's happening, right? Reservation numbers, passport info, addresses, all of that, right? So I say that to say I'm pretty meticulous about that kind of thing. So we fly down, and I booked the Airbnb, but we get down here late at night. I knew we are gonna have a little bit of challenges with a 2 year old being tired and trying to figure out that after a 4.5 hour flight, and it's already past her bedtime, and there's all of the stuff that's involved with that as a father. Um, but we get in a rental car. I'm driving in Panama, which a lot of people do not recommend. I don't recommend that for the week either, and I'm saying that because like it takes a tough driver to drive this situation.
But Baltimore drivers are built a little tough. We built a little
Yo,
different, and Atlanta too.
Baltimore,
Atlanta,
Atlanta, those two together form my skill set that was ready for Panama, right?
nice.
so, I'd driven in Panama before, so I knew what to expect, but this, I was confident about it. So anyway, we drive over to where the Airbnb is supposed to be. Bro, they're not even answering the phone. They didn't even give me the code to get into the space, but I don't know this because I'm on the flight and the Wi-Fi is tripping. So I'm not even like seeing that I'm not getting the information day of to even get into the Airbnb space. So we're starving, fam. Starving. And like we're really hungry, we're tired, we're in this rental car. We try to do everything with Airbnb to figure this all out. We wait like 2 hours, and then we're just like, yo, forget it. Like we're gonna do it just later. Let's go book a hotel room. So it already kind of like started off tough, right? We ended up booking a room, and we were cool after that. And Airbnb refunded us our money, so that was taken care of. But we had a short window of time, right, to go see apartments,
Yep.
figure out which one we liked, put in the app, put it, do go through the process of getting it, of nailing it down, and then like go, right? And so with that being said, we took about 4 or 5 days, to accomplish all of that, and we've been in this apartment for the remainder. So it's about 2 weeks, 2 3
You're
weeks.
you you're in your apartment, so you're in like a leasing like situation now.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Nice.
So, because it's like I needed some stability. We needed, with a kid, we didn't want to be hopping around.
Correct.
That Airbnb experience kind of put a bad taste in our mouth. It was like, yo, let's just get settled. Let's get settled. We will figure it out, step by step. And you got to be confident in yourself and your team in order to do all of that. And we had some resources put away, so that we can make certain decisions and not feel like we
Yeah.
were jamming ourselves up in any way.
That's very smart. And I'm glad you mentioned that too, because I think, first of all, you introduced, we're probably going to do a series here called Black Expats or something. I don't know what we'll call it, but I have so many questions about this because I think, generally speaking, you opened up a thread around traveling with a family, which
Yeah.
creates a new dimension of, I mean, you're charged with air safety, security, you're in another city, like another country, who
Don't speak the
knows?
language fluently. All of
Yeah.
that.
Like, it's not like there's a difference between flying to Jamaica, getting on a bus and getting on a resort, handing somebody your bags and just forgetting stuff to
Hmm.
actually relocating and having to kind of navigate all these things. We're kind of at time, but I do want to, I would love to bring you back for another interview, man, just to kind of get some things in play. But I want to ask you this. For people who are just thinking through the belief around like what's possible. I love the fact that you're very organized, got the checklist. what is like the one piece of advice or the one thing that you would share to people who are just kind of like, man, of course Jason got it. Jason's the man. Like, like, but like,
Man.
what would you say to people who are just like, I don't know if I can get out my home city? Like, I want to. I maybe need to have the money, but like, if money's not a challenge, what are there any psychological keys that you think you could unlock for somebody who might be on the fence about trying out the experience?
Yeah, I think at the root of it, you got to eliminate self-limiting behavior as in general, right? So I think like anything that holds you back that comes from an internal just disbelief or kind of like or thought, then I mean you're already doing yourself a disservice, right? Like why bet against yourself? Like it's
Facts.
you, bro. It's you. It's you. Why do you think that you wouldn't be successful already? Like you didn't even try it. You didn't even go out here to like to figure it out, and you already think that it's gonna fail. Like that's with anything in life, right? Moving, starting a new business, getting into a hobby, socializing, just do it. And once you get your reps in, and you keep trying and you get your reps in, you'll get better at it and you'll get better outcomes. In general, I think as a whole though, when you think about when you after you've taken baby steps and you've progressed and you get more confident about things, you got to make decisions that are grounded, right? You can't let hype or hope be the only things that's getting you to make a decision. You have to go through a checklist, like a significant one, with that's less like qualitative and emotional and more quantitative and back with some data to say
Yeah.
like, yo, I'm making this decision because this over here is better than that what I have right here, right? And once you piece all of that together, I think it'll guide you into the direction that is best for you so that you can thrive.
I love that because I'm sure you have your own personal scorecard, like safety, quality of life, affordability. You mentioned something I didn't realize Panama was on like it. I'm sure your 2-year-old didn't feel like that, but 4 hour flight to me seems super accessible. So to be only 4 hours away from the U.S. mainland is an incredible
Hmm.
benefit.
I mean, it's an
So
hour and 30 minutes from like I'm flying to New Orleans in August. It's an hour and 30 minutes away. So like there's other parts of the country that you can get to. I know geographically it's kind of hard to perceive if you're not looking at a map, but like I can go straight up and be in Texas in no time. So to get to that point, it's like if anything goes wrong, you can get back. You're not on the other side of the world. You can just it's simple, it's easy.
so what was the biggest driver for you to want to leave the country at all?
I just didn't see, as a father, I didn't think the country was going in a direction that I felt comfortable with. And I wasn't, I also wasn't confident that it was going to quickly change. So, everything that is going on from, school shootings to types of like teen takeovers and all the types of the culture that currently exists, made me, but where it's going right now is not what I want. It's not what I want to influence my daughter or my son. And when you step outside of America's bubble, you start to realize like, there's other great places around the world. They're different. It's not going to feel comfortable right away, but you could find your space in the right place and build. So you'll be
Yeah.
fine.
And at the end of the day, you have a passport that's you can get into. I mean, if you change your mind 2 months from now, you can go to another country. You could change it. Like it's not
Yep.
married to the idea. So I love what you said about, kind of taking a risk on yourself. Bro, is there anything else to share that we haven't touched on yet? Again, I would love to bring you back for a part two. If y'all have questions for Jason about his experience in Panama, why he's so cool, anything that you got to like
Appreciate
ask
that, bro.
about, drop them in the comments because I would love to continue the conversation. But if for you, Jay, Is there anything else that about this experience, about your freshen that you just are, or that we haven't touched on that you would like to just leave us with?
Yeah, yeah. If you start to share your thoughts and ideas and passions and interests with people around you, and they are less than supportive, or they just don't understand it, and they're not returning to you the energy that you would hope they would, in order to like, help you organize your thoughts, or to or to get you going in the direction that you're interested in going in, just don't talk. Don't worry about it. Don't talk to them. Find somebody else, and then believe in yourself. Do all the research that you can do, in order to prepare yourself for something, and step out, not just on faith, but on facts, and preparation. Hope is not a plan. Faith ain't a plan. It's something that ultimately you could benefit from, if it needs to kick in at some point. But you
Uh-huh.
got to do your work. You got to do your work to be as informed as you can, to mentally prepare yourself to be uncomfortable, very uncomfortable. Like, bro, there's no Amazon that delivers here same day, next day. I gotta wait. I gotta wait,
Yes.
or I gotta go to a place. I gotta go physically go to that store. I gotta find the store. I gotta go get it. And you forget that you are spoiled, and like you have all these quality of life comforts that just may not exist, but in the countries that you choose. But it's okay, and it's beautiful, and it's a journey, and you'll be smarter, greater, and better for it. So believe in yourself.
Beautiful way to take us out, man. Jason Bash, y'all, living it up in Panama, bro. I appreciate you. Keep up the great work, man. You've always been just like incredibly inspiring to me personally. Like even through Growing Black
Thanks,
Speakers
bro.
Network and everything. But it's like seeing people. I think we all need somebody to. I once heard that everybody in life is either like an NPC or a case study, so
I haven't
so
heard that.
yeah, it might be another third category too, like inspiration, but like
Yeah.
basically you're always learning from other people's experiences. And I think it's a beautiful thing. So thank you, man. Appreciate you being on the Bulls Report, and stay safe out there. And I'm hoping to come down and join you on one of them epic birthday parties if you decide to
Yo,
recreate the wheel.
please, man. And like, first of all, thanks for having me again. But and thank you for doing this for people who may need to hear this. But you can come down anytime, man. Like if you just like, I got questions, or like I'm gonna be in the area. Here's a cool thing. Here's a cool thing. You can Copa Airlines, and we're not being paid by, it's not, they need to pay us for this, but they have like something called a stopover like program, where you can fly on Copa, hang out in Panama, because they're doing this to boost tourism, for like a day to 2 weeks or something. And it's like an extended layover. And then you could jump back on the plane with no additional fee to wherever you were originally going, and go there. And then when
So it's
you're at
like
your
a
place, then
round
fly
trip
back.
flight,
Yeah, it's like a
basically
round trip
for
flight. Yeah. Yeah, yeah,
that's
yeah.
incredible. What is
So
it,
you can,
Copa?
it's Copa, COPA, Copa Airlines, and bro, like that allows you to see what's going on down here. Because trust, this is the last thing I'm gonna say before we close out.
Yeah, good.
A lot of the people are talking about Panama, but they're not really talking about Panama, bro. Like,
I haven't heard anybody talk about Panama. Well, aside from like people moving. So like, I that's why I was so excited to have this conversation. I'm like, I've heard Belize come up, I've heard Vietnam, I've heard all these different places, but Panama to me just instantly stuck out.
bro, like do this, and all the listeners should do this. Google Panama City, Panama skyline, just that, and then go to Google Images, and it looks like Miami. They call it two different things. I mean, you hear like Dubai of Central America or Singapore of Central America, and when you see the skyline, you'll see why. There's places here in areas that look very developed, and then there's other parts that they're in transition. They're still they could be like more like slums, or just like haven't been upgraded for whatever reason. You know what I mean? But that's the beautiful part about it. It's incredible. And yeah, so I encourage everybody to that's the kind of thing. You got to do research. You got to look into places for different reasons that would check your boxes, and you'll just discover all types of all types of stuff. So
I
I
was trying to
encourage that.
pull it. I was trying to pull it up real quick to see if I could show because I'm looking at it now and you're right. Like it's crazy. Let me try to see if I can throw a second screen on here because honestly, that to me feels like you kind of. I have a friend Depot Adesina, Jason. He always says you got to see it before you see it in order to see it. You know,
Yes,
it's
good.
you agree with that?
I agree with that wholeheartedly. Like that's the actual Panama City. Like that's I'm not far from where that picture is taken.
It doesn't want to load, but yeah, okay. Now this is dope. Like this is how they want the Baltimore City and the harbor to look after the renovation. I think this is
Yeah.
dope, man. This is cool, and yeah, and so outstanding, brother. Thank you so much for joining us, man. Keep doing your thing. I'm gonna continue to learn, and I think I don't know what it is about 2026. I think it's some of the combination of reasons that came up on the Jason Bass scorecard, but before the pandemic, a lot of people were already kind of talking about digital nomad and geo independence and kind of relocating. But I have a feeling, just reading the tea leaves, that a lot of people are going to be curious about
Hmm.
this topic. When I say a lot of people, I'm talking about order of magnitude of like because I think only like 30% of Americans have a passport or something like that. It's not a lot.
It's not a lot. Yeah. And that's the sad part. But yeah, I agree with you. I'm completely aligned with that with you. So I'll eventually start making content around this kind of stuff. I mean, I'm posting things on Instagram, and TikTok and a little bit on YouTube, but I'm going to dive deeper into that at some point, because life's a little slower here too. So I got time.
Yeah, you got to exactly. You do not look stressed. You do not look
No.
stressed. Like
No, I'm
so.
stressed a little. I'm more. There are things that I am deeply concerned about because I need to have answers as a father, as a partner, as a son to my parents, and trying to get them to come down here and also looking to build more community. But like, that's just the responsibilities of those things. I'd have those stresses anywhere.
That's
So,
facts. Yeah, just stress of being a man and adult and responsible. It's just, but I do agree of the opportunity to kind of reset a little bit is
yes,
nice, and I think our central nervous systems may need that in general.
definitely. No, you don't even know. Like, if you know that you need it, it's too late. I put it that way. If you know that you need it, it's all right. You're bored. You're on the too late side of it. It's like, oh, you you got some burnt edges. You're about to fully burn out, and that's speaking from experience. You don't really know what how damaged you could be from that until you get somewhere else.
Real
So
talk, man. Real talk. You gotta step out, and you're like, you don't even know how far it's gone, bro. I see you on the beach, bro. We'll talk soon.
thank you again.
Thank
Be
you, bro.
safe.